Welcome back to my attempt to make some rotating mast bearings out of aluminium.
Not a good day for casting.
So I go down to the shed and make my second pattern for the top bearing.
So this is the new design. I've shortened the sprue a bit. I've made it a little bit bigger in squareness. This is a vent I've added on the other side. I've also reduced some material here. I've increased the spigots that the mast rotates on in the tabernacle. I've shortened it a bit, so the rollers inside will only be 80 millimeters long now. I've increased the diameter of these spigots so that when I machine them down to 40, they're 50. When I machine them down to 40, I can put a bit of a radius in that corner. I'll coat the whole thing right up to about here with my drywall slurry. This vent, I'll coat that as well. It's got a hole drilled in it. The hole I've drilled right down into here, so it's releasing gases before the metal gets to the top. Oh, the other thing I've done is, before it was on its side, and I actually filled it through one of the spigots with my sprue here. So I really think that the ceiling on it collapsed before. What will help with that in this situation is I might use a bit of sand if I can find some, and also I'll give it a coating which will help support it. I did look at a video where the guy makes plaster of Paris sprues, and which he can reuse, but it was quite a rigmarole, and you'd want to be doing quite a few castings to justify that, I think. Plenty of people do it this way. Well, I bought some sand. It's kids' play sand, right? But it was a bit moist in the plastic bag, so I'm drying it out. Oh no, looks like it's going to rain. How do I feel about how that one went? It behaved quite differently. Things were happening so fast. I couldn't keep up when I was pouring. I knew I had to pour fast, and then I got the living daylights scared out of me when it really did a lot of gases came out on fire. It did a big burp. So I think that's a good sign, going by what I've seen on other people's videos. That vent seemed to work. We're going to find out very shortly how it went. Here's the evidence. I didn't use up all the muffin tins. Adrian brought me down a muffin that she just made at about the most intense part. And that was when I was trying to get the burner going well, and filling up those two holes and putting those openings around the crucible. It didn't work. Oh, wow. I reckon I couldn't wish for any better. What do you think, Adrian?
It looks a bit more like what you intended.
We're in business.
Very good.
And thank you, YouTubers. That really makes a huge difference, you guys chipping in and giving me the confidence to go on. So it's the next morning. What can I conclude? It shrunk from about 134 across that dimension to 132, so it's you know, roughly 2%. I allowed for 3%. So the finished size is roughly 129, and it's about 132 at the moment. So that's good. More pitting than I expected after the cleanup, and I suspect that's my fault because I tamped it, and I think some of the grains of sand may have pushed through the coating I put on, and so that's a bit of a downside of what I did. Maybe less tamping next time, and more vibration, and once again maybe finer sand. The sand didn't turn out to be very fine. The only place that had fine sand, the bag was really wet. You can see where the glue was here. The glue was replaced by aluminium. That's pretty clear there. The sprue is a little bit of a concern. You can see it was being eaten away, or sand was getting into the path of the pour there, especially around the top. Either find another way of making the sprue with some plaster of Paris maybe, or put some more coats. I'm still very happy with it. I think it's going to machine up well. The vent, as you saw in the video, seemed to work really well. Next time I may have more than one vent. I may have a vent on either corner. As you saw, I got really quickly to the top of the tin and had to back off, otherwise it would have overflowed. So far there seems to be no, if low, porosity, and it's quite carroty to machine. Get away, ducks. Stop eating my sand. Go on. That's pushing it.
Here goes my first pour of the bottom bearing with 3 vents and some new fine sand freshly dried. For most of it, I've only put 1 coat of slurry on. I filmed it in slow motion so we can see what's going on.
Woohoo! Wow! Ooh. There's an issue there. Wow, nice surface. Better with the finer sand. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Well guys, that was take 3. This is the bottom bearing, and I'm getting a lot better at doing the foam. The detail that's come out around here is just absolutely, I'm very happy with that, both sides. The rest of the casting has issues. As you can see, the sprue collapsed. I'd put about 3 coats of dry rock slurry on that. This vent collapsed as well. You can see there's a hole right through there. It was a bit of an interrupted pour. Was that to blame? The sprue length is shorter than the 150, the 6 inches I had the first time. What can I conclude from this? I'd love your suggestions. I've been listening. I've been going back and forwards a bit depending on which video I watch. Some people are getting very good castings with no slurry on the surfaces at all. I'm inclined to start thinking that's the way to go, because the gases have to escape. They can't escape out of these vents until it gets up close to them, or I drill the holes down through the middle to about that far inside the pattern. I'm going to have to think about this. I'm going to have to watch some more videos. I'm partially quite happy with how this turned out. These are going to turn out great. If I can repeat that, that's this damn top part here, and it's the sprue. I don't think it was the sand. The sand I'm using now is fine sand. It looks like I barely had enough metal. There's lines that go through here, through sheaves inside here, which pull the mast and the tabernacle. They rotate it in that top bearing that I was making before. And I'm still debating whether I'll make that top bearing for a third time, because I didn't allow enough meat in it to be able to cut off the top surface where there's some porosity and some Delrin or acetyl rollers run on that surface there in a groove. If you enjoyed the video, if you're getting something out of it, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and that opens up some doors for the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with some more successful castings, I hope.